just pray. This thing is not working. So you dropped out. I could hear you come back in. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to start, girls, soon. And I'm just going to talk to you. Okay. Just like. Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry that I'm a few minutes late. I'm Megan DiMartino, and Beyond Control, I am here with you for Propel 5-Day Challenge. When I say beyond my control, I was coming out to Llano, Texas to visit some friends yesterday, and my car totally died. So I'm here in someone's home out in the country with all the gals that I was here for a praise and worship and birthday party for. And so I, just as the theme of today, of the first C of the 5-day challenge is clarity. And guys, my clarity is you. Just to give you a little background, I have been building businesses for 33 years. I started in 1992 when I launched my first skincare brand. And we're going to go into clarity with this. But I started my first skincare brand. I guess I need to keep my glasses on because things beyond my control. Got to control as much as I can. And I started that skincare brand because by that point in my life, I knew as I knew, I had clarity that I was going to begin this. I had prepared for it. I was ready for it. I have been in business, meaning working for other companies in the beauty industry for over 10 years. And so I took a job with Alcon Laboratories, which is in Fort Worth, Texas, that enabled me to hang out with sophisticated chemists and learn how to put a product together. So I had that vision, I had that mission, I had that clarity, but I needed the tools. Certainly back in 1987, when I took that job, there was no Dr. Google, there were no websites, there was no internet, there was no place to really glean information from, and unless you went to the horse's mouth. And so that is why I took that job specifically. Now it moved me to Texas, and 35 years later, I'm still here. But I knew as I knew that this was time to do that. I had the background in the beauty industry, I had the connections, but I needed to have the tools how to start that business. But I had the clarity, and that's what we're going to start with this 5-day challenge today. So I said in the intro of this, my clarity is you. When I sold a portion of my spa business in 2020, and I'll get there, from how did it go from 92 to 2020. But when I sold a portion of my spa business in 2020, and I took a pause, I knew, and when I say I took a pause, God had me take a pause. I knew as I knew through prayer and meditation and listening that it was time to share this information with you. This information of all of these years of starting, scaling, and sustaining 3 7-figure businesses and selling 2. Now, I don't share that to impress you. I share it with you to impress upon you that you too can do this. There's nothing special about me, nothing, except that I am very clarity. I'm very clear that my essence is to create. Now, when I was a little girl, and as far back as I can remember myself, I was creating things. I was the one that put the lemonade stand together. I was the one that said, hey, let's do the play, and you can be Mary, and you can be Joseph, and so forth. Even though they may have been 10 years older than I was always creating. It was always creating in my mind. I could babble on about those things. But as far as I remember me, I was creating. Now, I thought over time, as I became a teen, that I was going to go into fashion design because my mom was a very, very, very experienced and very good seamstress. So we would create together. She was able to take patterns and create just the bodice and the sleeves and the back and so forth and piece those patterns together. I thought and wanted to go to FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City. I grew up on Long Island. Hence, I love New York. I'm a New York girl, deep in the heart of Texas, with a creative, serving, mentoring spirit. That's what my bio says. But I thought I was going to go to FIT, and my father said, oh, no, you're not, my dear. You're going to go to a Catholic girls' college, as I had gone to Catholic school all my education. So I did, and I majored in fashion merchandising, which was kind of a joke at this Merrimack College in Arlington, Virginia. But regardless, I stayed focused on that vision. I was clear on that vision of creating something. Now, I was, 19, maybe 18, 19, 20. ish in those years. But I stayed focused on that. Now, clarity leads to power, because if you're not clear, you're going to vacillate all over the place. Today, I see so many people starting, um, and I'm not knocking direct sales at all. Fabulous tool. But what I am saying is, if you don't believe in what you're doing, so you have to see it, you have to believe it, and then take action. Because if you don't do that, you're going to just go all over the place. So back to direct sales. I mean, I see people, starting, and they'll send me, information. Hey, because they know that I'm a seller. Let's just say that. But I'm not a seller. I'm an information giver, because I believe, as I believe in my products and what I do. And I'll go into that from the clinic spa standpoint. But I'm very clear that my products work, they perform, and I can help others. It's about solving a problem and serving a need. It's helping others. As Zig Ziglar, a famous quote, if you help enough people, you will be helped yourself. So basically, my heart is a serving, mentoring spirit. I've known that over these last 40 years, maybe 50 years. A lot of stories. But the point is that I've been clear on this creative piece to it. So I knew as I knew by prayer and meditation and listening to the Holy Spirit that it was time to bring this information to you. So I do have a program. It's called the Propel Business and Life Activation Program. Several modules. We'll talk about that another day. But I'm helping sorry, got a phone call. Have to do what I got to do. I'm here at the ranch, sitting at the big farmhouse table with the field in the back. But I'm here with you because I'm very clear that this is about you, not about me. This is about you. So I wasn't about to start the first day, and not show up, so to speak. So no matter what, if it was in my power to do this, I have Wi-Fi in this ranch. I have a stand. Someone gave me the stand to put the phone on. I have some books under it. I don't have my ring light, but I got a windows behind me, light above me. I'm here. So it was clear that I was going to show up and be for you, to share this information that's going to help you. I don't care if you've been in business for 20 years. Business is about evolving and believing in what you do. Meaning starting, scaling, and then sustaining. The big 5,000-pound gorilla is sustaining. Back to direct sales. I'm using that as an example. People will send me information. Hey, the greatest thing for gut health, or this and that, the other thing. I believe in all that. I take products myself, but the point, am I going to sell that? No, because it's not what I do and what I believe in. Now, will I share the information if I believe in the product? Absolutely. But on the other side of the coin, I see these folks go from one thing to the next thing to, this has a better compensation plan and all of that. It's about believing. It's about seeing it and believing and taking action. As Napoleon Hill has always said, that definitiveness of purpose, that seeing it. Also says burn the boats, meaning we'll get that back in one of the C's, commitment. But the point is that if you believe in what you're doing, you're not going to stop. Not. So back in 21, when I started putting together the Propel program, I knew that I was going to have to do things that would bring it to you, to introduce it to you, to market it to you. That's scaling. So, I've had the program. It's on my website, megandimartino.com, but it's about bringing it to you. Now, mind you guys, as I'm going to say, someone said to me, don't share how old you are anymore. Well, I'm on the 7th floor, as Barbara Majeski says. But, put 2 and 2 together there. But I'm not going to stop because as my dear friend Sharon Lecter said, Megan, you're not retiring, you're refiring. Exactly. I am taking all of this information and bringing it to you and helping you to start, scale, and sustain. As I said, you could be starting a business, meaning from scratch, saying, oh my gosh, how do I start this? What do I do? I'm here for you. You could be, I have a friend who was a math teacher but loved going to see homes, creative gal. And she would go with friends who were realtors. And she goes, I want to do this. So she got a real estate license. This is about 15 years ago. And she started doing it part-time. And then she got to a place where she could financially leave teaching because she also saw that it was a piece to her that she could teach others. So she started not only selling real estate, but she became a broker. So life is always evolving, but she's at a place in her business that she wants to expand it. So she reached out to me and we're working together because she had some roadblocks, nothing major, but just looking within and seeing those to eliminate those roadblocks. So there's always steps and pieces to these journeys because it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. But all of this to be said, it's about clarity. If you are not clear, as Ben Franklin said, without a plan, you're planning to fail. But the plan is one thing, but executing it is another. One of my foundational scriptures for my life and my businesses is Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be given unto you. These things, i.e., clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, compassion, and much more. But my 5 non-negotiables that will help you start, scale, and sustain the business, excuse me, and life of your dreams. So it's so important to go within and to really understand that what it is. When Solomon took over the family business, so to speak, after his dad, King David, basically he didn't say, God, give me the riches of the world or the universe. He didn't say that at all. He sought wisdom. He asked God to guide him with wisdom. I mentioned Sharon Lecter. After I sold that portion of my business, I reached out to Sharon. She's the co-author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Didn't know her very well, but I did know her. And I contacted her assistant, Angela, or beyond assistant, or vice president of her business, but Angela Tapman, and said, Angela, I need guidance for this next step. We always need mentors. I don't view myself as a coach. I view myself as a teacher and a mentor, because that is what I've been doing all these years. So in 1992, when I started Glycolique in the wholesale beauty industry, meaning I worked in the wholesale beauty industry with these 2 other businesses. One was a paper company and the other was Alcon Laboratories. And as I shared earlier, they recruited me because they wanted to add a hair care line to their, they wanted to enter the beauty industry technically. They had just purchased a small lab that manufactured NDC coded, which stands for a National Drug Code. So they were like for dandruff and serious scalp problems. So not very nicely packaged, very, medicinally, as well as didn't smell very good. So they wanted to repackage, reposition, and bring out new products. So I was recruited to assist with that. And so that's what brought me to Texas. And so that was my beginning training of how to put a product together. And what was phenomenal and why I took that specific job versus taking one in California, as I shared yesterday, I have some of my gals here with me, is that the company in California was OPI nail polish. But I knew that nail polish wasn't my jam, and I could have learned a heck of a lot through marketing for sure. So it was a really, hard decision to make. But I knew as I knew that it was going to be skincare cosmetics, and that wasn't their wheelhouse. So I, really looked into what Alcon could give me and saw that I was able to really hang out with these amazing chemists after work, go sit down with them and talk to them and pick their brain. I could never, ever, and I underscore the word never, start a glycolique had I not been able to gather that information from them. Glycolique was based on glycolic acid. It was the first glycolic acid, alpha hydroxy, you've probably heard that term, fruit acid family skincare line launched in the wholesale beauty industry. Dr. Murad was out there with retail, but I was the first line to launch in the beauty industry. Now, why that was somewhat significant is that in 1992, there was really, first of all, no spas like we know it today, like on every corner, but there were no estheticians, meaning most states, California, New York, Texas, a few states had separate licensing, but most states did not. So I had to train the cosmetologist how to get into skincare, and the owner, the manager of that salon, not spa, how to add that into their business. So that was the beginning framework of what I did. I built Glycolique and actually sold it to the lab that manufactured it because they had tried to get into the wholesale beauty industry. Alcon did not manufacture Glycolique because they were not working in R&D, research and development yet on glycolic acid, and they were not prepared to do that. So I left them. Yeah, I quit my job in 1991. I quit my job, sold cars, ironically. I'm here because my car broke down, but I sold cars to pay my bills. I had a daughter in college. I had saved money to do this, but it was, I needed to I couldn't dig into that. So while I was building Glycolique, I sold cars. So I then put it together, launched it in the summer of 92, built it, and the lab that manufactured it had tried to get into the beauty industry, but they didn't have any connections, because life is about that power of association. Remember that power of association. It's your tribe. And I'll share a little bit about where I'm at in a bit. That tribe, that power of association. So anyway, I decided that I would do that because I had started the business. Now, this is in the course, one of the main foundations. I was so undercapitalized. So I thought I had enough money. Not. So, and in 1992, banks didn't loan to women. No. Asked me where was my husband. Didn't have one of those. So it was, but the business shot off like a rocket, and I was holding on to the flame. So in 1995, when they came to me, early 96, and said, we'd like to buy this, I'm like, maybe that is the wisest thing to do, wisdom, because I could attain some capital, and if I put the deal together properly, where I could start again, meaning non-compete, I didn't have one, made sure I didn't have one, that I also ran it contractually for them for 1 year, so I had an income. And as I put together my second brand, Novita. Now, those things, undercapitalization, non-compete, those pieces are things that people don't know and don't think about. All of those, they may say, oh, I want to do X, Y, Z. But if you don't have that, so it's not about errors or mistakes or not taking action, meaning that when I say not taking action, you have something in your heart and you don't do it. That's a whole other point we'll get into. Maybe it's not God's timing. But anyhow, I had this experience. You learn from your experience. You learn from your mistakes, i.e. undercapitalized. And then I worked with them for a year. And then during that year, though, I was putting together my second brand, Novita. Novita means new birth, new life, always something new. That's my promise. That's what I say. So I was putting that together, said bye-bye to them, and launched Novita Spa Clinical Products at the Summer Distributor Show in the beauty industry in '97. By the way, this non-techie girl pushed myself over and over and over and over, because if you need something, you find out how to do it. If you can't do it, you find people that help you do it. But I've had a URL, novitaSpa.com, since '97. I've had webmaster people say to me, goodness, wasn't born in '97. So I was asked by somebody, it's a long story, pointless here, but I started utilizing that type of technology long before it became something that everyone used. So I'm always looking to see what is needed, A, B, what could enhance this business. So I started Novita Spa Clinical Products in '97 in the wholesale beauty industry, and then built that. And then in 2003, I wanted to do a training center because I was traveling throughout the United States weekly, in and out of DFW Airport. And I just said, I can't keep doing this. So many trade shows, so many trainings, a training center here, and start doing education, because as I said to you, it's about that support. I've been a mentor and an educator forever. So I thought it was going to be in Fort Worth, but God had a different plan. Long story, but based on family, the foundation of it, but also listening. In the summer of 2003, when I saw Georgetown, Texas, which is right on Interstate 35, which goes from Mexico all the way up to Canada, so through central Texas, so from San Antonio, Austin, Waco, Round Rock, Waco, up to Dallas, Fort Worth. And I saw Georgetown, and it's a county seat, so it has a square. That's historically what Texas does. So it was right there on 35, and I said, wow, this is beautiful. It was very quiet. There was not much activity because this whole boom in Texas and Austin specifically hadn't happened yet. But it's location. And so I started seeking out information from the Chamber of Commerce, and saw that it was, of course, I knew it was the county seat in the square, and I wanted to be on the square, but it was also a home for Sun City, 7,000 roofs of age-restricted community, university town, and also the state had already appropriated the funds to do a tollway around from San Antonio, North End, Georgetown. Oh my goodness gracious. So I knew it was going to sprawl just like Dallas-Fort Worth had. So without even living in Georgetown, Texas, and not knowing one human being, I am a licensed esthetician, got that in '91 as I was putting together Glycolique at night, after selling cars, got my license. And I found a one-room studio and a hair salon, and just utilized her clients and invited them in for a complimentary facial, and I was off to the races. Building the brand in Georgetown, Texas, which now is a major bedroom community of Austin. I started the Novita Spa at Rachel and Company, advertised a little bit in the town paper, but there's a little kitty cat here. You probably hear in the background. Hi, girl, just calm down. It's one of my audience people, just like you, just like these guys. So anyhow, I started that and built relationships. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. So it's building that foundation of relationships. And then the following year, when I went up to the square and then launched the Novita Spa on the square in 2005, I already had a base of business. People knew me, liked me, trusted me. Started then, because I did this myself, meaning doing all the facials, but then I hired massage therapists and a few other estheticians, and we started building. And then in 2012, we all got our LSO, which stands for Laser Safety Officer, the structure here in Texas to do medical aesthetics, and got a medical director and so forth. And we're off doing medical spa treatments. So again, I evolved. If you get an email from me or some personal thing like that, I my title is CEO, but I say Chief Evolve Officer, because my job for you is to see what's coming, what you need, and help you actualize it. So we launched the medical component, which Botox fillers, IPL facial treatments, laser hair removal, and then evolved it, cool sculpting, and on and on. So in 2018, I needed from Western medicine physician a knee replacement. This is a very important piece. I needed a knee replacement. I had injured my knee in high school, and when you're a young person, it heals itself, so to speak, but it was always weaker. And I played a lot of tennis and skied a bit, so that movement and getting older, it's like your car, it wears down. My car is new. Anyway, that osteoarthritis builds in our system. And so in the fallish of 18, I had a meniscus tear. The meniscus is basically what holds together the patella, the whole bone structure. Whoa, I couldn't walk. So according to Western medicine, I needed a knee replacement. But I'm a researcher of sorts. So I looked into it. And guess what? It was a 60-40 ratio. 60% worked, 40 did not. Ooh, I didn't want metal and plastic to create my knee and have it not work. Little did I know that I've seen so many botched cases since then. But anyhow, I started doing research, found stem cell, regenerative therapy, found a friend, not out of the blue, a friend of mine out of the blue, you want to say, emailed me. She was at a conference and said, Megan, I'm here with friends and they just had stem cell and for their shoulder and their knee. And this would be great for Novita. And I said, Ann, you have no idea what you said. I need it for me. So these folks lived in Dallas. When she came back, I got their name. I called them. I went up sight unseen, didn't even have a consultation, booked an appointment. I had 1 cc in my left knee in November of 18. And to this moment, almost 5 years later, I have a new knee. But people saw me struggling and said, when I wasn't struggling, all of a sudden, said, what did you do? And I said, well, I had stem cell regenerative therapy. Can I have that? I don't know. But I'm in medical spa. So I called my insurance agent first. Can I do biologics? Oh, yeah, that's covered. Okay. And so then I just sought out information. Now I can go to Google and Dr. Google, how do I do this? And I found the company that I work with. So it's a whole other training, not even part of the 5 C's. But I wanted to give you a little background of the starting, scaling, sustaining with the 5 C's: clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, and compassion. So I added the regenerative stem cell January of 19 with this company that I work with for education, training, and where we purchase our cells from. And so this is 23. And so from 19 through the lockdown, we were doing seminars, and then we were, here comes Angeline. Hello, hello. Hello, my love. Just giving you a little history, a little background, and tying everything into clarity.
Good morning, everyone. But, Megan, can you hear me okay?
Can you hear me, Angeline? I can. Can you hear me?
We cannot hear you, so I'm not sure if you can. Oh, okay. So you are being heard on the Facebook. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Megan, for this incredible segment. I hope everyone is getting some options here. I'm Angeline Moore. I was just popping in because I said that I would. You want me to stop? I will. I can give you back the mic.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you. But can you hear me? No, you cannot. But people can on Facebook. So I'm just going to continue, Angeline, because my audience here is listening as well, and my kitty cat is listening here at the ranch. So go on to Facebook, Angeline.
Yes, I can hear you now on Facebook. You are good.
Okay. I was going to say,
Can
go
you
on
hear
Facebook.
me okay?
Okay. Perfect.
Gotta
Perfect.
love technology.
Perfect. So basically, I'm asking, so this is being recorded, Angeline?
Yeah.
Is this being recorded? Okay. All right. So anyhow, I was just bringing them up to the regenerative, and I found the company I work with. We launched it in 19, did seminars every month, built a very significant business. And then in the lockdown, someone knocked on my door literally, because I never went dark, because I shipped all over the country, because we have a shopping cart for the skincare products, Novitas Spa Clinicals. And he said, would you like to sell me your business? And I did. I mean, I really looked into it, but I sold an asset purchase, not the trade name, not the URL that I've had since 97, but the asset purchase. But I didn't sell the relationship with the company that I do stem cells with. So from when I sold that in June of 20, I started not immediately, but I started working foundationally about this Propel program. And then last summer, opened a new brick and mortar here in Georgetown for the regenerative stem cell wellness, vitamin infusion, infrared sauna, and several of my gals that work for me at Novita Spa Medical Rejuvenation Clinic have started their own businesses, but came back and are renting some of the rooms for their own businesses at my clinic. So that's a very short of a very long 33-year story. But what I want you to see in it is it started, guys, from that vision, that mission, taking action and never stopping. It is imperative to take that action, because with action, I'm just reading my notes here, without action, nothing happens. Just reading some of these notes here. Just checking the time. Okay, we're good. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the piece of listening for clarity. Because people always ask me, well, okay, this is great. I love your story. I love listening to you. And, very interesting how you've built all of this. But how did you do it? Again, it was that vision, seeing it even as a little girl, continuing on with it, staying with that. And then my passion. People say, well, how do you know, your purpose? How do you know your purpose? Your purpose is revealed to you, Psalm 37. Meaning that as you're doing, but if you don't do, you'll never actualize or have your purpose revealed to you. So your passion leads to your purpose. But my purpose is you, helping others identify their dreams, goals, and desires, and to help you actualize them, so that you don't just flow and not do, but doing, because that analysis paralysis will stop you in your tracks. You can have the greatest background. Let's say you are an IT person. Let's say you're very talented. You work for, Google or Dell Computers, or a very, very reputable company, and have a very, very good background in what you do. But you have this dream of being an entrepreneur and doing your own thing, and you kind of have an idea, but then you're like, well, do I have the money? Can I shared some of the pitfalls, but if I hadn't taken those steps, nothing would have ever happened. It's the journey that's the gold. It's the journey. I was looking at a thing that Tony Robbins put out recently with Dean Graziano, that he recognizes this. And he's putting together some sort of program about helping people thread, like this new meta platform, thread their lives together. That is, I said, wow, I'm on the right page, because that's really what this is about, to help you not want to dig a hole and put your past in it, but to take it out and to let's look at it, because the gold is in that story of yours. It's in that past. It's what the things you've done. You will see who you are, where you want to go, and what you want to do in that. So instead of saying, oh my God, how many times have I tried, wanted to do something and didn't do it, well, that's okay. But we can start from that dream. I know you have a dream. I know you have a dream. I know you have a vision. I know you have a desire. I know this because we could not be humans. God created us to do. But it is in that wisdom, as I said earlier about Solomon, he asked God not to be the richest man in the universe. He asked God for wisdom. That's why I love Proverbs, because, and sometimes you say, oh my goodness, it's a contradiction. It says, don't do this, but do that. What it's really saying, what God is really saying in that is pay attention to the pitfalls of the thing, but also keep doing it. I love Proverbs 3, 5, 6. Trust in the Lord in all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. That, again, that's where people fall into pits, because leaning on your own understanding, oh my God, in all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. I was on a clubhouse room praise and worship prayer on Sunday thing with David Hill. And I throw out these things because we'll be going back to these things that are tools and helping you build. But he was talking about how many years ago, he's been sober for 20 years, maybe. And it's one of his greatest accomplishments, as he always says. But one of his first mentors said to him, humble yourself, David, because he's always been very good in sales. Let's just say that. He's been successful. And this person said, humble yourself. 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people would humble themselves. And he said, I've said this. This is David speaking. He said yesterday, I've said this, I've shared this. And people say, oh, humility is, like the kiss of death in business. Au contraire. It's listening to that still, quiet, small voice. Listening to what God has for you. When I shared very quickly, 33 years of business, but I was sharing about opening a new clinic. Oh yeah. I mean, my family said, are you crazy? Meaning that I'm going to do another commitment in another brick and mortar. But guess what, guys? I sought out in prayer in 21. Long story. I'm not going to go into it right now. But I sought out in prayer saying, Lord, what do you want me to do? Because I was using someone's clinic and it was very cumbersome because we could only go into it and do our work, my nurse and myself with consults and my medical director and so forth, when they were there. But when they were there, they were busy. So it was very, very conflicting. So I said, Lord, if you want me to keep doing this, i.e. the regenerative stem cell, then find me a place. Yeah, I said that. Find me a place. Show me that this is what I should do. Show me. And again, I'll share that another time in the 5 C's. But that was summer of 21. And in 22, February-ish, he revealed the place. And there's a backstory between summer of 21 and finding the place. But the point is that I went into my prayer closet and sought out, ask, knock, seek, He will give that information to you. But you have to ask. But you have to know what you want to ask for. Like I said, we were doing it. When I sold that piece of it, we continued on. Didn't stop. People called, said, hey, can I have? And so we would, but I found a location. But as I said, it was cumbersome. So I knew it couldn't go on that way. So either I found my own location or something that worked better than that situation. Sorry, got a phone call. So it's about seeking, going within. Easy, guys. I self-funded this. Not easy, but, and I'll tell you another little piece to it though. Mentioned that some of the gals that worked for me, I found them a location because they wanted to start their own businesses. And at Christmas time, their lease was up in this other location. And there were things about the lease, the new lease, that they didn't like. They knew I had several rooms at this new location. December 5th, I got a text from one of them saying, hey, are those rooms still available? But the interesting part to the story is that I could have rented those rooms so many times over. I do a lot of marketing and people coming in, of course, patients and clients. And so there were 3 rooms. And people said, could I, my friend is a blah, blah, blah. Do you think that you might be interested in leasing this room? Maybe. And I talked to a bunch of people, but it didn't resonate in my spirit because I had prayed and prayed and prayed about, Father, bring the right people. Never expecting it was going to be them, ever. But when they called, they just slid right in. It was ready. Don't worry about it. It's their businesses. The place is maintained and taken care of. So it is about seeking that information. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. The world is waking up. It's 8:49 here in Central, and so 9:49 in Eastern. So I've just got several calls. So that's the story of my day. But I'm here for you. I'm here for you. So it's a 10 minutes of, and so, in closing, I have some assignments for you for tomorrow for courage. But before I go into the assignment, Angeline will put this up on the screen. But I found this quote this weekend, knowing that I didn't even have my notes. Thurman, he was an educator and a philosopher and an author back in the early 20s, 30s. And he said, ask yourself what makes you come alive and go do that. Because what the world needs is people who come alive. That mission, that vision, that passion that I've been speaking about, that passion will stay with you and propel you. Propel your business and life. That's why I put the word life with it, because if your life and business are not congruent, your life will not work because you've only created a job for yourself. You might as well stay in the job where you have stability, so to speak. So it is that vision and mission and taking action. And that passion will propel you to take that next step. But you have to be clear on a teeny bit, like a mustard seed. Like a faith is as big as a mustard seed. But have that, and we can work towards building. So your assignment, are you clear on your direction? Are you clear? Do you have that clarity for your passion? Let's not even go to purpose yet. That passion. Let's start there, small as a mustard seed. Are you clear on your passion? What is it? And if you're you'll receive this in the email as well. But what is it? And I say, come on, you got dreams. I know you do. Everyone has dreams. I mean, we do dream, but I'm talking about here cognitively. But let's begin from there. Those visions, those dreams, those goals, those aspirations. Write it down. As God said to Moses, put it on tablets. So if you see it just in your heart, write it down. And then I'd love some feedback, because again, critiquing is so important. I learn truly by having you guys critique me. I am not, to me, I love John C. Maxwell. I'll just share this because of his philosophy on leadership. And it really is to bring others into it, that it's a team, that we work together. So the more I have feedback from you, that I can assist you, to help you, because you might say XYZ, I'm not even going to put it out there, conjecture it. But basically, I want you to participate in this. And so this is 5 days, starting with clarity, go on tomorrow to that courage muscle. We're going to build that muscle of courage to take that first step. Again, whether you've been in business for 20 years, want to retread it, or go into something new, like my friend who was the teacher and then went into real estate and has evolved it and continues to evolve it. So it does not matter. Angeline here, I just call her the whiz kid of IT with her Kingdom Sparkle agency. But she has a corporate job. She does. She's got a management corporate job. But she has a vision and a mission to build this Kingdom Sparkle agency. She is helping me. I could never do this. Never, never, never. Meaning the landing page that you signed up on, she and I collaborated for sure. And my graphic designer, Elizabeth Hauser, of course. But without Elizabeth and without Angeline, I would not be here right now with you. Because I had put, and I'm going to tie this up with this, I had put together the Propel Your Business and Life Activation program with 2 modules, Start and Scale, and Sustain is going to be a mastermind. So I've been very clear in my vision. There's 2 modules with 5 videos and 5 workbooks for each, Start and Scale. So there's 10 weeks of this program. It's been done for quite a while, but I needed someone to help me bring it to you. So you cannot do this alone, guys. It is impossible to build and sustain and start and build and sustain a business without a team, without a mentor, without a program. It's impossible. It's impossible. And the mistakes I made, and I'm going to use that word, over all of these years, is back in the day, there was nothing available to me. Nothing. So I had to learn totally on the job training, doing it from one step to the next. And so I want to help you avoid those things and learn from the experience. I'm not going to use the word mistake anymore. The experiences I've had in evolving these businesses over these last 33 years. Okay. So as I close, I said, I wrote this down, and it'll be in the little overview that Angeline sent you in the email, and it was up there. Yeah, she has it up there right now. I said, see you tomorrow, a.m. Get your workout clothes on. We'll be building your courage, because that's really what it is. It's about building it. Many programs that I look at will say, I hear clarity. Yes, of course, because if you're not clear, how can you do anything? But then they jump to confidence. But if you don't build that courage muscle, which builds then the confidence, it's going to fizzle and die. So it is having clarity, the program, knowing what, the next step, starting it, building that courage muscle through that, which then builds that confidence to continue on. In 2011, my husband passed away. I'm going to leave you with this in closing. And the morning, as right after his spirit left his body, the day was dawning, and I was in my kitchen, and the backyard was full of white butterflies, full, not a couple, full. And I was like, oh my goodness. Paul was a mighty man of God and deserved to be ushered into heaven that way, in a grand way. But I knew God was telling me something. So I was sitting at the kitchen table, and I just put my head down on the table, and I started talking to God, saying, what are you trying to tell me? And as I was lifting my head, I heard, share your story. Share my story? What story? Tonight? Paul's illness, which was a 2-year tsunami? My life story? What story? Well, God doesn't answer those questions. Just gives you that seed, that mustard seed. So that was 2011, September 29th. And I continued I do journal half for years, but I journaled specifically on that, what asking God and continuing. I did an outline in 17, didn't do anything in 19. It just got so loud. I took that outline out. I had a beginning title, which I've been using forever in education and trainings, Hope and Possibilities, meaning skincare will help with hope and possibilities. And and I say to you today, there's always hope and infinite possibilities with the power of the Holy Spirit, but you must listen. You must go within, seek it, ask, and it will be revealed to you. But the subheading of my book, which I published in the end of December 2019, is it's never too early or too late to create the life of your dreams. Never. Take that first step. The second and third step will be revealed to you. God bless you. And thank you for joining me today on the Propel 5-Day Challenge. See you tomorrow, and be blessed. Angeline, my dear, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me okay? Hello, everyone. What an incredible segment. I know that it was kind of challenging with the tech. Yes, you guys, make sure if you haven't already, go on to propel.megandmartino.com/challenge and sign up for the 5-day challenge so you get notified of all the things, all the reminders, all the notifications. You'll be invited into our daily texts as well. You could also upgrade to VIP by going to propel.megandmartino.com/VIP-upgrade, and that will give you an opportunity to get all the recordings plus a little sneak peek into the activation program. It would be really, really amazing. Today, day 1, Megan dropped some clarity things for you. Make sure you go to the daily accountability part, propel.megandmartino.com/daily accountability. If you've registered, you'll get this an email as well to submit your accountability for clarity and make sure that you answer the questions that she went over with you. Thank you so much, Megan. Any last words before I close it out?
I just want to reiterate, don't stop. Here I am in wherever I am and wherever my car is, and we'll figure it out. And we will figure it out together, folks. So have a blessed day. Can't wait to be with you again tomorrow, 8 o'clock. I'll be in my own studio, so we'll be okay. And we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys. Bye.